Welcome to Signs of Collapse, where we point out the observable signs of late stage capitalistic collapse. So let's just start with this one. Food banks in Montreal are pressed by growing demand. What can I say? People are straight up struggling to feed themselves. But people have always struggled to feed themselves, you say. No, this is different. Very, very different. At least in the modern West. It's such a huge surge in demand that I can only point to a recent decline in the current system. We're seeing Teslas, Benzes, Range Rovers pull up outside these food banks. It's not the people you stereotypically expect to be struggling that are struggling. We're getting to a point where everyone is getting dragged into the mud. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what your salary used to be, because your salary isn't what it was 5, 10 years ago. It doesn't have the same pulling power. Everyone is now getting dragged into the mud, Range Rover or not. It seems the horsemen of climate change, war, and just plain old corporate greed are now aligning, pushing up food inflation massively. But it's breaking people. How patient can you expect people to be if they can't realistically feed themselves and their families? That's the biggest one. Starve a man, okay, maybe he'll keep on being compliant, but a man won't sit by and watch his kids starve. Something is brewing in the air as a result of this. Okay, let's move on to the US healthcare system. Now, look, I'm not going to bash Mark Cuban. Fair play for what he's doing. Honestly, he's putting a 15% markup, which anyone that knows business knows that doesn't mean 15% profit. So he could actually potentially be subsidizing this at a loss. So fair play to him, as I said. But my problem is, why does this have to exist? Why does a sole individual have to provide a medical service that should absolutely be dealt with by governments or very large, already scaled medical non-profits? This shouldn't be a story because Mark Cuban shouldn't have to exist systemically. It's like Batman. Depending on your perspectives of Batman, you may congratulate him for what he does, but the biggest issue with Batman is that Batman shouldn't need to exist. Last but not least, one of the biggest signs of collapse: open political corruption. Notice I didn't say political corruption. Those of us with our eyes open already know that political corruption is the default setting. No, my problem is how brazen they're getting, how open it is. It's right there, it's in your face. He's puffing his chest out and saying, "What are you going to do, bro?" And the answer is nothing. Crickets. Again, we're going to talk about it, shake our fists in the air, and then just move on submissively. Perhaps you think this quote is too simplistic, but I think I'll leave it here anyway. When government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. So that's all for Signs of Collapse. We'll be back soon. You know how it is. We'll be back soon. Thanks.